only did he have his game face on, but he had his game beard on. He started to grow that beard, which means he's ready for the tough winter.
Bobby Ross, whose decisions to go for a two-point conversion backfired in the loss against Arizona, and Ross adamant last week to defend that decision as the Lions had a chance to get into field goal range to send it into overtime. Terry Fair back deep for the Lions, who will get the ball first, and a squib kick end over end fielded by Fair at the 15. Terry Fair is tackled, and a fine special teams play by rookie Antoine Edwards. The Detroit Lions offense and Gus Frerotte, who has pulled out a couple of victories and started last week and had a career week passing yards with 375. Up front, Ray Roberts, Tony Semple, Mike Compton, Jeff Hardings, and Barrett Brooks. Greg Hill, the running back. Corey Schlesinger should see more action today. Johnny Morton and Jermaine Crowell have been red hot lately, as has David Sloan, the tight end.
Sloan really hurt him the last time they played. Got to the middle of the field.
Frerotte has not thrown an interception this year. 1st and 10 at the 16, and here is Greg Hill, nothing there on the first play of the game. Green Bay Packers trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss here at Lambeau Field, unheard of considering the string that they had amassed of over 30 games without a defeat here. Three and 2 this year, and as nearly as many losses as they had in 6 years prior to this campaign. 2nd and 8.
And they have a receiver in the backfield.
And the give is to Corey Schlesinger, and the fullback stacked up for about a yard. That's all. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 for the Lions as the crowd cheers the Packer defense.
And they want it too, because the Packers right now, they need everything, and they need everybody on their side there. Because when things are down, you start to look inside, and pretty soon you start seeing all the negatives instead of the positives. And the only time a team or a player can take care of it is right now on the field. So you want everybody on your side.
3rd and 5. Cedric Irvin, the rookie from Michigan State, is in the backfield. Frerotte to throw for the first time, and he slings it, and the pass is caught by Johnny Morton, and that'll be close to a 1st down. Morton, who made a spectacular grab against Arizona last week, was tackled by Antoine Edwards, and it is a Lion 1st down.
Now watch what he's going to do. He's going to do a nice job of getting to the inside. And because there's nobody in the middle of the field, Edwards has to try to defend not only the man, but take away the inside. Morton does a nice job of reading that and then gets inside, and then you can position your body between the defender and the quarterback, and you have yourself a shot at a 1st down.
And we're going to have a measurement here to see whether Morton did indeed get the first, and he did.
Well, your eyes are pretty good, Dave.
Defensively for the Packers, Bonnie Holiday, Gilbert Brown, Santana Dotson, and Keith McKenzie is starting at defensive end for the injured Vaughn Booker. Jude Waddy, who's played well for Brian Williams, Bernardo Harris, and George Kuntz, the linebackers. Rookie Mike McKenzie and Tyrone Williams are the cornerbacks. Darren Sharper and Leroy Butler, who should be playing a major role of the safety. 1st down at the 27. Frerotte again to throw, and he's looking for Morton, and Johnny Morton makes the grab shy of midfield, and Mike McKenzie defending another Lion 1st down.
Again, he's able to get to the inside, and that doesn't matter if your quarterback can't get you the ball. But Gus Frerotte right now is throwing the ball as well as I've ever seen him throw the football. And the thing that impressed me is he's relaxed. He feels comfortable in Detroit, a lot more comfortable than he did in Washington. He didn't really elaborate, but he was talking about the relationship he had with this guy, Charlie Batch, and how comfortable he was with it.
Batch is the backup today for Frerotte. That last pass good for 21 yards. 1st down on the 48, and here is Corey Schlesinger, and nothing on the play, maybe a half a yard, and Keith McKenzie, who hails from Highland Park, Michigan, and starting today and leading the team in sacks.
I like Keith McKenzie. His downside is that he's not a real big guy. He's on the smaller side, but he played that like a big guy. He just took Walter Rasby and did what Howie Long, that used to be the Howie Long arm under. Guy would block down on him. You just drop your shoulder and throw him past you. That was very well done.
Second down and 10. And here is Hill on a fake, and here is Gus Farrat's pass, and it is thrown, intended for Johnny Morton, and he makes the catch in traffic, and a first down, a gain of 13 yards, and a good fake on the handoff to Greg Hill. So Farrat is sharp, and the Lions have a first down inside the Packer 40.
Nice job of play calling, and they have the Packers right where they want them. You're going to watch Johnny Morton. He crossed all the way across. Leroy Butler was pointing to him, saying, here he's coming. What happened, it was a rookie mistake because McKenzie saw it and whirled, but didn't go marry it up. He left it go. And had he just jumped it, that play wouldn't have been there.
First down at the 39, a short drop, and here's Crowell with the catch. And Jermaine Crowell on the fade, tackled from behind by Mike McKenzie, who might have saved a touchdown. And it is a 25-yard gain, and the Lions doing it through the air.
Well, just like we said right at the start, Dick, they're going to have to be able to throw. And if they're going to throw, you're going to have to protect, like you saw right there. Because of that protection, he can have the luxury of taking his time and putting a little touch on this ball to Crowell, who had clearly beaten McKenzie to the top side.
Working on the rookie, the second year.
Hey, I already have him in the backfield, Dick. You see this right here? That's a good way to take coverage off of him.
Greg Hill tackled from behind by Gilbert Brown as he gets to the 11-yard line, a pickup of 4. So as you pointed out, the Lions throwing the ball to set up the run, at least trying to do that, have a second down coming up.
Well, they have to, because they don't get a lot of push with that offensive line. And when one of your best players, Herman Moore, just looking at right there, is standing on the sideline, then you have to get a little creative in how you get your people open. And as you saw on the last play, they took Jermaine Crowell, their big play guy, put him in the backfield.
Second and 6. Ball is at the 10, and here is Hill. Greg Hill up the middle, gets to about the 6-yard line. George Kuntz there on the tackle. And the news is not good about Herman Moore because he might have aggravated his knee injury. And he has yet to catch a pass this year, and he may not even be ready for the Thanksgiving Day game coming up on Fox against the Bears.
Well, it's amazing that, well, it's a credit, actually, to this offense. It's a credit to the coaching staff because Jermaine Crowell has really stepped up. Johnny Morton's playing extremely well, especially the last month. And they really haven't missed Herman Moore.
Third down and 2 on the 6. Here is Greg Hill, barrels inside, close to the first down, and may have it. And that would be a big play for the Lions. It would bring up first and goal as Cletus Hunt and Darren Sharper combined to make the play. And it will be first and goal for the Lions. Very impressive opening drive for Detroit.
Well, what they had right there was a very impressive line turn, something they have not consistently gotten out of that offensive line. Their toughest guy inside is Jeff Harding, 6'4", the right guard. He'll get some push. The rest of them don't really get much of a push consistently.
3 tight ends in the lineup on first and goal. And the give to Cedric Irvin, and Irvin goes into the end zone for a touchdown. So Irvin, the rookie from Michigan State, picked on the 4th round, caps a very solid drive which silences this capacity crowd at Lambeau Field.
And one had his vision and ability to bounce a little bit, they'd have themselves a solid all-the-way guy. This guy just needs some foot speed.
And flags are down before the snap. Walt Coleman is the referee this afternoon.
Well, this offense.
Encroachment on the defense, number 97. 5 yards, which will be assessed on the kickoff.
That's Cletus Hunt, but this offense came out, just like we said at the start, what they had to do, they did. They stayed with the run, they didn't abandon it, but they threw the ball effectively, and that's going to have to be their game plan all game long.
So Jason Hansen, who announced a new 6-year contract extension for him, and Hansen's extra point is good. So the Detroit Lions, on their first possession, 4th touchdown catch of the year. The Lions lead it 7-0. Jason Hansen getting set to kick off. Has the second most touchbacks in the NFC. Basil Mitchell and Damon Parker are back. Parker really is one to watch. This is a short end-over-end kick, and it's returned to the 22-yard line by Damon Parker, and he gets close to the 25. So Brett Favre will take the helm for the Packers. Cedric Irvin with his 4th touchdown rushing of the year. And now Brett Favre and the Packers will start from the 25. And the pitch goes to Dorsey Levens, cutting up the middle, and a couple of yards on the play. Bryant Westbrook coming up from the secondary to make the tackle. Offensively, Brett Favre trying to get on track, but he's got that great career record at Lambeau in his back pocket. Up front, Ross Verba. Raleigh McKenzie, 36-year-old, starts at left guard with Winters, Rivera, and Dotson. Levens and William Henderson in the backfield. Antonio Freeman, Bill Schrader are the wide receivers, and Tyrone Davis the tight end. Swing pass out to Dorsey Levens, and he runs right into Stephen Boyd, about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. Defensively for the Lions, and the defensive line has been outstanding. Travis Kershke, Luther Ellis, James Jones, and Robert Porcher up front. Chris Claiborne, the rookie, back in after missing a week, with Stephen Boyd and Alan Aldridge at linebacker. Terry Fair, Mark Carrier, Ron Rice, and Brian Westbrook, who has struggled as of late, the other cornerback. 3rd down and 2. 4 wide receivers for Green Bay. Porcher got back in time. Here comes the blitz and the pass up the middle. They wanted to go to Levens on the screen, but Porcher might have tipped the ball.
Well, everybody's talking about, including myself, how healthy Brett Favre's thumb is, and you really don't get to see much of it on that first drive. What they tried to do was clear everybody out. They had the 4 wide receiver look, split the tight end, and then just run back underneath. Just clear everybody and then work on Boyd underneath, but they knocked the ball down, so you have to live for another time.
Ehani Owezeke back deep for the Lions, and Louis Aguiar will punt for the Packers. End over end returnable kick, and here is Owezeke, and a good return for the Lions. Owezeke on a low line drive kick, and that'll give Detroit good field position. We'll be right back.
Light things up, but against that Washington defense, they'll be better.
There's Jim Nelson, who is in now for Bernardo Harris, who is questionable with a sprained knee. First down at the 43, play action for Farad, and the pass is intercepted by Nelson. And now Jim Nelson comes into the game on the first play. He intercepts a pass, giving the ball back to the Packers on their 40-yard line.
Dick, they had the tight end so wide open. Look at this. He runs right down the field. Nobody covers him. They have it too deep. Safety up here, safety over here. There's nobody there. If Nelson doesn't make that play, he's still running. An excellent job of seeing it and then getting depth, tips it, and makes a great play. But boy, he saved the monster.
Reception of the season, giving the ball to the Packers on their 39. Favre swings it out to Dorsey Levens, and Levens is tackled for maybe a yard.
I want you to watch David Sloan in the last. Remember, David Sloan killed them the last time. The first mistake the Packers make is they don't get any touch on him. They just let him come right down the middle of the field. The second thing is they have both their safeties split, and they leave the middle of the field wide open. And with nobody touching him here, he's got a free run to the middle. Now, this is a poorly thrown ball, and if Nelson doesn't get his hand up there, that's 6 points.
Second down and 9 at the 40-yard line, and the handoff to Dorsey Levens. who gets good yardage up the middle, short of the first down by about 4. And right now, for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick and Matt with a little offensive twist. Return man and receiver Tim Dwight, first ever rushing touchdown, 8 yards to pay dirt. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel's upset special right now. Falcons on top of the Bucks, 7-0. Back to Dick and Matt.
And Bernardo Harris is back on the bench after leaving the game with a sprained knee, but his replacement picked off a Farad pass, and the Packers with a 3rd and 3, and there's the flip to Dorsey Levens, and Levens is stopped for no gain, bringing up 4th down as Stephen Boyd, who's been around the ball all year for the Lions on defense, makes the stop.
That one I didn't get. They're going to try to run this thing back underneath. They're trying to take advantage of up-the-field pressure. Then they flip it underneath, but Boyd did an outstanding job of ducking back underneath McKenzie and coming up with that tackle.
Missed a couple of games with a foot injury, and he is one of the keys to the Lions' defensive effort this year. So Louis Aguiar will be kicking, and Awezike to return for the Lions. A good kick by Aguiar, and a fair catch called for and bobbled by Awezike inside the 10, but he holds on to the ball. He has Scott McGarrahan in his face.
That's okay. Fair catch. You can smack him if it hits the ground. He still has protection if the ball doesn't hit the ground. McGarrahan hit him. Clearly the ball wasn't on the ground, so he's still under the rule.
We have fair catch interference on the kicking team. The receiver gave a fair catch signal, then muffed the ball, but he must be allowed the opportunity to re-catch the ball. 15 yards, first down.
Crowd does not agree, but that's the rule, and a 15-yard penalty will give the Lions some breathing room.
Well, Awezike actually took his eye off the ball. And once it flopped around, McGarrahan instinctively went for him, but the rule is what it is. If it hits the ground, then it's a free ball. He can get after it on the muff.
So the Lions start from the 24, leading 7-0. And Gus Ferraro made a bad pass the last time, fires it down, and crowd yelling, and the Packers yelling for intentional grounding, and a flag does come out at the 25-yard line. Normally, a quarterback just throws it away out of bounds. And instead, this one goes against the Packers as well.
They're going to call defensive holding. I'm wondering if they weren't trying to hit a screen or somebody underneath and somebody grabbed onto him.
Holding, 63, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
So George Kuntz was holding and pleading his case to his teammates, but it'll go to no avail. So first down as they mark off the penalty. Bernardo Harris, by the way, is back in the lineup for the Packers defensively.
Watch George Kuntz. No, they had to call the wrong number.
Lions with a first down at the 29. Corey Schlesinger, the straight-ahead running fullback, maybe a yard on the play with Bernardo Harris making the tackle. The Lions would have been inside their 10-yard line had it not been for 2 penalties against the Packers on this drive. Second down and 8 coming up. Bobby Ross's Lions having to play without Barry Sanders all year. Herman Moore with no catches, and Ron Rivers, Sanders' replacement, out with a broken leg. Second and 8, and the draw play to Cedric Irvin, and the Packers doing a terrific job this quarter against the run. That time it was Vonnie Holliday.
Yeah, well done by Vonnie Holliday. He's playing that right defensive end. You're going to watch him right up here working on Ray Roberts. What Roberts wants to do is try to invite him up the field. See how he throws him? But Holliday did a good job of planting his outside foot and coming back down inside. And what that is, it's feel. You understand why a guy's giving the outside so fast, so you have to react to it, and he did a good job.
Third down and 9 for the Lions on their 30. And a flag is down. Brian Stabline went in motion, no play. Here's Walt Coleman.
Prior to the snap, false start, 82 on the offense, 5 yards.
Jermaine
Still third down.
Crowell. So a 5-yard penalty will make it 3rd and long for the Lions. 3rd down and about 14 coming up.
These Packers are still keeping both safeties deep, playing in what's called a 2 deep. Now you're in a nickel defense. They have their nickel guys in. See how they're both safeties splitting half the field. That makes the middle of the field, it gives it a weak spot. Now they kick to a 3.
Barak's pass, and it is caught by Crowell, and it's short of the 1st down by a yard. So Crowell on a comeback pattern makes the grab, but is shy by about a yard at the 38-yard line.
Came back a little bit too soon. See how they're showing you the cover 2? Then what's going to happen? They're going to roll it. This is how you call rolling your coverage. Now they roll this to 1, 2, 3 deep coverage. He ran the comeback like you said, Dick, but he came back too far. And he was short of the 1st. It's going to set up this 4th and about a yard.
And John Jett will come in and kick, and you know Bobby Ross isn't about to try anything fancy here after
Maybe we can
last
try
week.
a 2-point conversion from here. What do you think? Enough of that.
Here is John Jett with the kick. Antoine Edwards is back in a terrific kick, helped by the wind as that ball rolls into the end zone and out for a touchback.
But they're playing much better than anybody anticipated they would.
3 wide receivers, and 1st down, the handoff to Dorsey Levens. Levens last week gaining only 31 yards in 15 carries.
Dick, here's the hurry-up offense that they've been talking about all week that Favre is comfortable with and tried to get his rhythm. They said if he doesn't have a rhythm early, they'll go to this to try to get him a rhythm.
2nd down and 9. Favre drills it up the middle, and the pass is caught by Corey Bradford, and that is a Packer 1st down. Bradford, who dropped what looked like an easy touchdown toss against Dallas, grabs this for 12.
What this does, see, it keeps the same personnel defensively on the field. And then you can work your whole offense because Favre has the experience.
1st down on the 34, and this pass ruled incomplete. Bill Schrader was the intended receiver, and it certainly gets Brett Favre into an up-tempo situation as well for him.
Yeah, it does. And you know, what happens is now he's running the offense. And because he's running the offense, he's really into it mentally. That ball was down and low, and it hit the ground, and Schrader couldn't get his hands underneath it.
2nd and 10. Favre looping a pass, and it's caught by Dorsey Levens. And Dorsey Levens with the catch and run, and a big gain inside the 15, a pickup of 53.
And look at Favre. See, he wants to kill. He smells the blood right now, and he wants to be able to get it. But that throw right there was something Brett Favre has not been able to do all season long. It was touch. It was a perfectly touched pass.
And they're not going to get the play off before. Look at the difference in the no huddle for the Packers, who have a 1st down on the Lion 13 as we start the 2nd quarter. And there's the flip going to Dorsey Levens, being chased by Travis Kershke, and he is out of bounds after a pickup of 5 yards.
Dick, when you have big plays, the first thing you have to be able to do is you have to be able to have protection. And then if you don't get protection, you have to be able to get away with one every now and then. It looks like there. But I want you to watch this. Look at the eyes of Favre. Look downfield. He knew he had nothing. So then he turns into the old Brett Favre. Buys some time with his legs. And then the perfect touch pass out to Levens. And it's 57 yards, whatever it was, 50 yards.
He said feeling much better this week. And there is the fake handoff. The pump fake by Favre. And Favre throws it away. He knew he didn't have anyone really open. Henderson and Tyrone Davis were in the same neighborhood in the end zone. Good pressure that time by Alan Aldridge.
Excellent defense. Excellent defense all the way around. They're gonna drag him all the way across the back of the end zone. He sees him. He can't quite get there, so he has to take his eyes back down. Nice coverage by Aldridge right there, who then comes off and forces the throw to go out of the end zone. Excellent defense.
So a 3rd down and 5 coming up from the 8-yard line. Lions trying to protect their 7-0 lead. Favre under pressure gets it to Henderson, and the fullback is stopped close to the first down. And let's see where they spot the ball. It was Stephen Boyd and Robert Bailey, and it's very close at about the 3-yard line. And we're going to have a measurement to determine whether the Packers will have a 1st and goal or 4th and inches coming up. First and goal for the Packers, to the cheers of the Lambeau throng as Green Bay looking to get even in this game.
Well, we talked about Brett Favre and how well he threw the ball in practice this week, and I watched him on Friday. I went back and watched some practice tape, and boy, he really was throwing with confidence, and he's playing right now like he has that confidence.
Ball is at the 3-yard line. Favre has completed 6 of 9, and here is Dorsey Levens trying to go outside, and he is knocked out of bounds. And Brian Westbrook, along with Mark Carrier, coming up and pursuing from the secondary.
Yeah, and just a nice job by the whole left side. Was able to string that thing out. They got Dorsey Levens bouncing, and he's running sideways. And once he starts running sideways instead of up the field, you win, especially down here. Watch everybody just pursue and come in. Excellent job right here. Nice job there. Westbrook ends up making the tackle, and Carrier is right there.
Packers have just scored 3 touchdowns for their offense in the last 13 quarters. 2nd down and goal, and the pass overthrown. Antonio Freeman well covered by Terry Fairs.
There's a guy right there who's really struggling. Antonio Freeman. Antonio Freeman, it looks like he's hurt. Doesn't look like he's getting much separation when he's man-to-man. When they're doubling him, he can't get away. And I think also that Antonio Freeman is suffering a little bit of no Chimura, no Robert Brooks. And he's out there all by himself, and I don't think he's 100%.
And there is Mark Chimura, and do the Packers ever miss his presence? 3rd and goal at the 5. Pump fake one way. Favre under pressure. Going to try to fire it, and it's knocked away. A great defensive play by Westbrook, saving the touchdown pass intended for Schrader.
That was an outstanding play by Westbrook. And it wasn't because he didn't have time, because the coverage was there. He stayed with his man, and he gets a little jostling down inside, but they let him play, and then he comes back. Now watch his right hand. Excellent job with the right hand. Got away with one with the left hand. Good defense.
So it is 4th down, and Ryan Longwell is in to try a 23-yard field goal. And the Packers, with the new blockers inside, they have had 3 field goal attempts blocked in the last 3 games. But this kick is good by Longwell. A touchdown pass attempt by Brett Favre. It was 1st and goal at the 3 for Green Bay. And the Packers have to settle for a field goal and trail the Lions 7-3.
That guy was making me hungry.
The green roll and everything?
Green or not, you know, I've eaten green rolls when they weren't even dyed, just green on top. I throw them in anyway. A little mustard cures everything.
For other reasons, they were green.
Just throw them in. Yeah, it don't matter. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's an excellent bite, too.
Ryan Longwell's kick on the ground. Corey Schlesinger picks it up and bulls his way close to the 45-yard line. So the Lions will have good field position once again.
I want you to watch a couple things. First of all, Favre on this side is going to have a lot of time to throw. And then I want you to watch what Schrader does when he sees. On this side, you're going to watch Schrader right here. He sees Favre has to get, he's in trouble. So now you come back to your quarterback. Let him try to make the throw. Favre, really, he had some mustard on him, but Westbrook did an excellent job of defending the ball.
Remember, Westbrook has been picked on lately in the last couple of games. And knew he had to come up big in this one. So far he has. Lions with a 1st down on the 44. Cedric Irvin, who scored the Detroit touchdown with a good run into Packer territory in a gain of about 6 with Kuntz and Holiday.
One thing that the Packers are doing, I've heard some people say, well, they're not using Leroy Butler like they have been. That's not true. They are using him, and he is up at the line of scrimmage. But sometimes Leroy Butler gets too close, and he can be accounted for. He's most effective when he's the 8th unaccounted for guy, and the linemen don't have it. Here, he's right down here. That's a good depth for him. Sometimes he gets up in here, and then he gets caught up in the watch.
Gus Frerotte moving Jermaine Crowell around. Short drop for him, and the pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Watching this Green Bay Packer defensive line, they're not where they were. And I think they undersell, and maybe they don't, but they really miss Reggie White. Reggie White wasn't the player he had been in previous years. There's no question about it. But he still had presence, and you still had to account for him. And without him, it's a lot tougher.
All 3 rookie cornerbacks are in there defensively for the Packers on 3rd down and 3 at the 49. Frerotte fires and intended for Sloan, the tight end. Incomplete. You remember Sloan with a 74-yard touchdown catch in week 2. Fred Vincent on the coverage that time.
Again, they let him alone. See, I think that's a mistake. You got to get your hands on a big target like David Sloan defensively. If I had been a linebacker on this defense right now, I would remind that outside guy to get your hands on him every time, because Sloan can really run, and he can beat you to the middle of the field.
There's the kick by John Jett, a line drive kick fielded by Antoine Edwards and decked right away at the 15 by Wani Owezike. So the Lions had good field position.
Who knows what you're eating in those things?
Oh, it has. 1st and 10 for the Packers on the 16-yard line. And here's Dorsey Levens with good running room this time, and a 1st down for Levens, who had his best day of the year with 153 yards and a score against the Lions in week 2.
And he just fouled William Henderson that time. Watch Henderson, fullback, does an excellent job of cutting. He doesn't do this very often. Right here, that is an excellent job, and that's good awareness. It's better to cut a guy on the edge. Chris Claiborne's coming. He tries to get his hands down, but a good cut, and he's able to get him to the corner.
From the 27-yard line, this is a play fake, and Favre drills it complete to Schrader, and a 1st down at the 42, and already you can see that Brett Favre's thumb has to feel a lot better with the way he zinged that pass.
You know, I think he's been throwing some zingers, but sometimes, you know, he may hit somebody right under the Bart Starr sign right over here. The thing with him has been inconsistency with that thumb. He said sometimes the ball comes out, he has absolutely no control over it.
That was a 14-yard pickup. From the 14, handoff. Levens trying to go outside, and Dorsey Levens running out of bounds after a gain of about 2.
Dan Owens has made a comeback. Not where he was a year ago, before he hurt his knee, but he hurt his knee and he rushed back, and he's doing that's tough to do. And that is really tough to do, to come back and play inside like that and get the push and all the same things. And usually it's a 2-year injury. He did it in a year.
Lions have been really hit hard by injuries on both sides of the line. 2nd and 7. There's the pump fake and the flip out to Levens. Dorsey Levens gets the 1st down into Lion territory. He's driven back, but his forward motion will pick up 9 yards on the play, with the rookie linebacker Chris Claiborne finally making the tackle.
Well, what Favre is able to do with this offense right now is because he's getting good protection. They've been getting it now all through this whole 2nd quarter and from the end of the 1st. And because he has the protection, guys can clear out. He's been able to dump his underneath patterns to Dorsey Levens underneath.
1st stand at the 47-yard line of the Lions. Favre goes up the middle to William Henderson, and Henderson gets close to another 1st down. He'll be short by 1.5 yards, and Boyd and Aldridge make the tackle, and the Green Bay Packer offense in rhythm here as they trail 7-3.
So what this means now, you're going to start dumping things off underneath. then what happens is your linebackers have a tendency to get magnets, and they start getting closer and closer, and then you hit behind them. You get them drawn up, and then you can dump it over their heads.
And the handoff to Damon Parker, and the rookie returner getting a shot in the backfield. Gets the first down to the 22, and there's a burst. Good for 18 yards. Mark Carrier makes the tackle for the rookie from Oklahoma.
I like this Damon Parker, but again, I want you to watch William Henderson. This is excellent patience by Parker. Wait, wait, wait. Then just let the guys get body on body. Watch Henderson, gets it on Rice, and he cuts right back inside. Very good vision and nice patience by Damon Parker.
Only his 5th carry of the season. First down at the 21, and Dorsey Levens checks back in. Favre has an open Levens up the middle, and Dorsey Levens has had the backs wide open today. That was a 6-yard play to the 15 with Stephen Boyd. Dorsey Levens has been the featured back, both as a receiver and a runner thus far in this game. 99 yards for Levens, the rest of the Packers 58.
And what you're going to do, if you're the offensive coordinator, you're Sherm Lewis, and you're going to get these linebackers to continue dropping like that, just keep on dumping it underneath. That's smart football.
Ron Wolf upstairs this week watching things.
A nice, warm, cozy room. He ain't leaving that thing.
2nd and 4, Favre being chased by Kursky, and firing it into the end zone and throwing it away in effect, bringing up 3rd down.
Ross Verba is going out. Mike Wall is going to have to take his place at left tackle. Wall's been really struggling inside at guard.
Packers using 3 different guards in the left guard spot. Rollie McKenzie starting today. Mike Wall, who has been suffering from a stinger, now moving in a tackle, and there's the general manager Ron Wolf, who was on the field at Texas Stadium for a rare appearance last week. 3rd down and 4 for the Packers. Flushed out of the pocket is Favre, and the pass incomplete. And I'll tell you, the Detroit Lions are bending, and they're not breaking at all in this first half, Matt. They're playing 4th down.
Very good red zone defense. And they've clamped on receivers when they've had to, and they've played their tight zones. Remember, when you're down inside that red zone, everything changes. Things tighten up, and that's excellent defense. Larry Peccatello, their defensive coordinator. We had him a couple weeks ago against the St. Louis Rams. I thought he called a whale of a game.
Masterful job changing things up. Now Ryan Longwell, who attempts a 33-yard field goal for the Packers, and this kick is good. And the Packers climbed a couple of lengthy drives, but only 6 points to show for it. As Longwell has kicked 2 field goals, that one went 10 plays. The previous drive, 11 plays, resulting in a field goal, and they're going to work now on Ross Verba over on the sideline. James Jones has a sprained knee for the Lions, but they expect him to get back. Terry Fair returning from inside the 5-yard line for the Lions, and he carries it out to the 21-yard line. Scott McGarrahan.
You know, Dick, beside from having all the abilities, you have to be able to have awareness of where you're at on the field. And Tyrone Davis can certainly run. He's a big guy. But, you know, there's no way that the pylon should reach up there and trip you. You just have to know where the heck you're at. Look at this right there. See this? There's the pylon, and it got him. Now, had he not even tripped, he had stepped out earlier. You can't do that. You have to have an awareness of where you're at on the field.
Ross Verba shaken up, and he may be heading for the locker room. We've seen the hash mark come up and trip people from time to time.
Every now and then, the old hash mark will reach up there and grab you.
They're going to have x-rays on the right knee of Ross Verba as Greg Hill carries for the Lions, who are trying to get the running game going. And a gain of 6 yards with Bernardo Harris, who was shaken up earlier and returned, making the tackle. Well, the Lions have quieted down since their 84-yard opening drive and trying to get something going here in the second quarter with nearly 7 minutes remaining in the half. Lions have not won in Green Bay or Milwaukee since 1991. 2nd and 4. And Greg Hill, couple of yards. And a 3rd down and short coming up. That was Darren Sharper forcing the play for the Pack.
Yeah, that was a lead. And they ran it straight in there. And the fullback hit the linebacker, then the running back hit the fullback. And you have to have a little bit of vision in there. You just don't run over the guy in front of you. That was a good job defensively, though, of Sharper, of having a little bit of awareness and coming back in, sets up this 3rd.
They need 3. Cedric Irvin, the back. And the flip is to Cedric Irvin, blocking in front, and Irvin breaks a couple of tackles. Vinson, one man to beat him. And he cuts inside, and Cedric Irvin with a big run on 3rd and 3 on the pitch. Finally brought down by Jermaine Smith, a defensive lineman, but not before he gains 51 yards.
Well, if he'd had speed, he'd have scored. And that's what we talked about earlier. But I want you to watch Antoine Edwards, number 24. Watch, he comes back right up here, has a chance, and Darren Sharper missed him. Edwards from the inside. He's blocked, and Sharper takes a bad angle. He's too high. You got to the top side, you can't. You have to use the sideline as your help. You come from the inside out. But Irvin does a masterful job of being able to come back and pick that up.
And there's the slant pass intended for Jermaine Crowell, and he makes the grab at the 15. That, by the way, was the longest rush by the Lions this year, 51 yards, and then Farrat comes back with a quick 7. And now the Lions threatened, leading by 1. So Irvin, who has scored the touchdown in the 1st quarter, the only TD in the game from a yard out.
Darren Sharper must have failed geometry, because I see him take the worst angles in tackling.
2nd down and 3 with 2 tight ends in the game. Greg Hill, and Hill is short of the 1st down by about a yard. Is that A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
That's the Pythagorean theorem. I know my math there, Nami. But Darren Sharper's having a tough time out there, and he's done that consistently from last year all the way through to this year. And really, that's a feel. And that's that awareness we talked about. Sometimes you just have to know where you're at. And as you're running, you make those decisions with every step. That time, he got too high. You can't give up that inside shoulder. Once he got to the top side, to that outside shoulder, he gave up the inside, and Irvin took advantage of it.
Third down and 2. Farrat has to get rid of it in a hurry. He does. Touchdown to Jermaine Crowell. So Farrat gets hit, but not before he unleashes a bullet on the slant play and a 14-yard touchdown pass to Jermaine Crowell. And as Farrat gets up slowly, keep in mind Charlie Batch is the backup today.
Well, he threw that ball well. Crowell got to the inside right away, and Jude Waddy came off, got the hit on him. But look, it looks like he's waiting for help to the inside. It looks like he's waiting for help. If your help is coming from the middle of the field that far, that's extremely poorly played.
That is the 6th touchdown catch of the year by Crowell, who has really emerged in his 2nd year from the same school that produced Herman Moore. And here is Jason Hansen for the extra point. And this kick is good, and the Lions, with 4 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the 1st half, have up their lead now to 14-6. 1-yard run that set it all up, and Crowell has had 2 straight games of 100 or more receiving yards.
And Dick, that was an excellent throw by that guy right there, because he saw it right away, and they blew the coverage. Sharper jumped outside. Crowell got to the inside, and as soon as you can get to the middle of the field, heck, that's stealing. And he saw it, perfectly thrown ball, took the whack, but came up with 6. And those 2 guys in the say they better straighten out their signals inside, because that shouldn't have happened.
Gus Farrat was shaken up as he came off the field, but he is all right. And this kickoff by Hansen is short, end over end, and it's taken down by William Henderson. And Henderson with a return to the 39-yard line. So the Packers will have their best field position as they trail 14-6, under 4 minutes to go in the 2nd.
Now this is right after the touchdown. Ray Rhodes is not very pleased talking to Darren Sharper. He saw the same thing from the sideline that we're showing you from up here.
Ray Rhodes, a former defensive back in his own right with the New York Giants and San Francisco 49ers. First down at the 38. Pressure on Favre, and the screen pass to Dorsey Levens. Got away from a defender and makes something out of it. Dorsey Levens having a big game offensively.
He always does. But Luther Ellis, Dick, you know we have to talk about how guys just have that sense and awareness. Watch Luther Ellis inside. He feels it. He knows something's going on, so he flattens out and almost makes a great play because he felt it, he saw it, and he had the awareness, and he was just that close to making a big tackle.
20-yard pickup for the Packers. They're in Lion territory. And the handoff to Dorsey Levens. And the opening closed in a hurry, and a gain of about 1.5 yards. James Jones making the tackle. He was shaken up early.
Those two guys inside, James Jones and Luther Ellis, really are very solid. Watch Luther Ellis right here. Watch what he does. He's going to take the center and put him 3 yards in the backfield. And he's just controlling that part. And then the other side is James Jones, who makes the tackle again. He's controlling his inside. These two guys are playing very well.
2nd and 8, and here's the slant Green Bay version. Corey Bradford, and a first down inside the 30-yard line. Pickup of 13.
It's been a very quiet day for Antonio Freeman. This is the guy who they need him to be their big play player. They need him to be able to come out there and carry the load when things aren't going well, like right now. But he's not been able to get open. You can see all these clips. He's just not running away from anybody. I think something's wrong with him.
He was shut down against Dallas until the 3rd quarter last week. And the pass to Dorsey Levens for a gain of about 3 or 4. And we're going to wind down to our Green Bay on 2nd and 6.
He's a hiccup. That kid is quick.
2 minutes remaining in the first half, and there is the pass out in the flat to William Henderson. And Henderson dives forward and may have the first down, and he does for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, Favre has not been adverse to throwing underneath all game long, and he'll continue to do that as long as those drops are being made. He'll run people off and then dump it underneath. Every now and then he's hit a slant. No question, this looks like the Brett Favre that we've seen. But this red zone offense in the last 4 games has not been very good.
Ball at the 16. Dorsey Levens checks back in. Goes out in a passing pattern. The pass incomplete, and penalty marker down as Antonio Freeman was defended in the end zone by Brian Westbrook.
He was well covered, and that should have been a touchdown, which leads me to the other thing that Antonio Freeman's not been doing well lately, and that's catching the ball. I mean, this is, I don't see that as being, the defender has the right to his spot. You can't just run through him, but Antonio Freeman's really struggling. The ball hits him right in the chest. Should have been a touchdown. Shouldn't have mattered.
Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First to go.
He's always been a body catcher. He's always been one of those guys who likes to use his body. And the danger of that is right there. You saw it. It'll bounce out.
6th pass interference penalty for Westbrook, tied for the NFL lead. First goal at the 1, and here is Levens. Touchdown, Packers. Dorsey Levens, who has been handling the burden on offense today. And the Packers will go for 2 in an attempt to tie the game. That was only the 4th offensive touchdown by Green Bay in very nearly 14 quarters. So it's been a dry spell for them. With the score 14-12, the first 2-point conversion attempt coming up for the Packers. We have 1:13 remaining in the first half. And on the rollout and the pass, and it doesn't go. It is incomplete, and it was Jeff Thomason, the intended receiver, and a host of coverage people, including Mark Carrier, in the end zone. So the 2-point conversion fails, and it's still 14-12.
Well, this is the touchdown, and how they do that is they just do a nice job of misdirection. Start one way and then come back the other way. And what that does is get your backers flowing quick. Now in the 2-point conversion, they actually try to pick on the outside. And they're going to try to pick with Antonio Freeman. And Thomason looked like wasn't ready for the ball. See, there's the pick inside, and they're going to try to come back out here. The ball got tipped, and he wasn't ready for the ball. He was still watching back inside. Well, they missed Chamorro. I think when they lost Mark Chamorro, they lost a whole bunch, because they lost a guy who Brett Favre had a lot of confidence in, number one, and then they also lost a major cog in their running game because he was a solid blocker.
Out for the season with a neck injury. He's got the headset on, so he is involved today. Three-time Pro Bowler Mark Chamorro, who is a key to the running game, as you mentioned, and also the man that Favre always knew he could go to in tough times, passing-wise. So
yeah, all else fails, just go with the Chewy. That's what he would always say.
There's the scoring drive for the Packers. 14-12 to score, and the short pickoff is handled by Cedric Urban, who is hit and knocked down.
Just that little hiccup just put a major hiccup on Cedric Urban. I like this kid. I like him too. Cedric Urban, he can make some plays.
A couple of rookies who figure for their respective teams.
And look, at one point you just have to say, okay, I'm just selling out. And there it was. And he just put the hiccup on him. He's over there going, I can't believe I did that.
And he's getting some time in the backfield offensively as well. Lions from the 26-yard line, and the slant pass caught close to the first down to Johnny Morton. Lions have all three of their timeouts remaining in a hurry-up in progress for Detroit.
You know what I like about what Detroit's doing offensively? Sylvester Croom, their offensive coordinator, he sees that this defense is maintaining outside position. And when you hold the outside, you give up the inside. So slants are big.
Second down and 1, and Cedric Urban goes forward for the first down. And the Lions will use their first timeout. Well, big day this past week. Ground was broken in downtown Detroit for the new Dome Stadium, adjacent to the new Detroit Tiger Stadium. The seating capacity will be 65,000 and partially built into the old Hudson warehouse structure. It is a beauty, and with windows looking out on the downtown Detroit, and like all of the other ballparks, Matt, built in downtown areas, this should be a boon to the downtown area. It'll be the new home, and they're scheduled to begin in the fall of 2002.
And one of the keys, I think, there is the 65,000, and they could always expand it. But what happens sometimes up in Detroit now is that place at 80,000 is just too big.
Too big, yeah. Well, they have sold out a couple of times.
Well, sometimes they'll have 65,000 in it, and it feels like there's nobody there.
First down on the 38-yard line. Lions have 2 timeouts remaining, and Farrat's pass is caught by Crowell, who gets a few more after the catch inside the Packer 40-yard line. And now the Lions, after the 23-yard score today, Lions 1 timeout left. They're on the 39 of Green Bay. Farrat up the middle, dropped. And that was David Sloan who was open.
I was down in the field prior to the game, and I was standing there talking with Bernardo Harris, and David Sloan walked by, and Bernardo said, Sloaney, we can't let you have a big one today. We got to shut you down. And David said, shut somebody else down. Please don't do it to me.
I love the banter on the field before the war starts.
Yeah.
Second and 10. Farrat again goes to Sloan. This time he holds onto it and makes the grab at the 35-yard line, as the Lions will try to spike the ball and stop the clock with 18 seconds to go.
Yeah. And now he's just finally back there after the injury.
Lions are out of timeouts. 3rd and 6 coming up. Will be a long field goal attempt for Jason Hanson if they don't get any yardage here. Pass underneath to Cedric Urban, and that is a first down as we get down to 10 seconds to go. And Gus Farrat will spike it and stop the clock with 5 seconds to set up the field goal attempt by Jason Hanson.
Should be about a 45-yarder. And remember, here in Lambeau Field, who knows where the winds are? If you look up at the flags on the top of the stadium, they're blowing one way. And if you look down on the field, on the top of the goalpost, they're blowing the other way.
classical music. He is a conductor. Maybe the Boston Pops could use Mr. Hansen. Yard field goal attempt by Jason Hansen, and this kick is good. Just made it over the crossbar
there, let me tell you.
Ball fell off of the tee, blown off by the wind, and gusting up to 20 miles an hour when we started this game. A balmy day as Green Bay weather goes in this time of the year around Thanksgiving. Temperatures approaching 50 as we started the game. The Lions yesterday thought it would be the freezing temperatures. Not the case today.
Well, they're getting some of that wind, but it wasn't enough to deter Hansen to kick right before the half. He nailed that one right down the middle.
Robert Bailey will hold now for Hansen. Field goal as time ran out.
Think he'll move his finger? Oh, no, Lucy wouldn't have anything to do with him.
Happens every year, doesn't it? You think she'll ever let the kick be made? Who knows? Let's go right down to Pam Oliver right now.
All right, Dick, talk to both coaches at halftime. First, Bobby Ross, very happy with the offense. With the defense, he's not so happy. Says they're giving up too much underneath stuff and that it's killing them. Ray Rhodes, meanwhile, very succinct. Only two major complaints, coverage and tackling. Back to you.
Boy, Pam, you hit that one right on the nose, as did Ray Rhodes. Coverage and tackling, and what he's really talking about, he's got to get better play out of his free safety here in the second half, because the first half for Darren Sharper was not very good.
Mike Wall has been in for Ross Burba, who's had his knee x-rayed, left tackle. Antonio Freeman in motion on first down, and a screen up the middle to Dorsey Levens, but the Lions are quickly there, and just a minimal gain.
Well, if you've watched this game to this point, what Brett Favre has been doing majority of the time, he's been dumping it off underneath. And you can see that under 20 yards, they've been throwing a ton. He hasn't thrown anything over 20. And under 10, he's thrown 15 balls. Now, if you listen to Chris Collinsworth and the guys at halftime, they said the exact same thing and make a great point. They're going to keep throwing it underneath, and then eventually, once they bite, they're going to throw over the top of it.
Levens on the handoff, no gain on the play, and as you saw in the graphic, that only 3 passes were caught by the Packer wide receivers in the first half. Levens has been the bulwark of this team, and Dorsey scoring the touchdown for Green Bay.
I think the other point that has to be underscored is defensively, these Lions are playing well. Bobby Ross is happy, except for the underneath things, but they've been playing very well. They have not been getting pressure on Favre, but they've been tackling well.
3rd and 7, and there is the slant pass, incomplete. Corey Bradford, the intended receiver, but Terry Fair played it well, and so 4th down coming up, and the Packers will kick.
Packers don't have anybody who can get open. That's what it looks like. They don't have anybody, and I know Bradford can run. It doesn't look like Antonio Freeman's running very well, but nobody's getting open, and that is a credit to the secondary play of the Detroit Lions. They're playing very, very well.
Ihani Awezike back deep, and Louis Aguiar will punt for the Packers. Check out the hang time for Aguiar.
Check out the shank by Aguiar.
And check out the return to the 45 by Awezike. Tough day for the wide receivers, including Antonio Pack. And Ryan Longwell will be the backup, holding the ice to the groin. First down at the 46. And Greg Hill dives forward into Packer territory. This is the best starting field position that either team has enjoyed today.
It'll be interesting to see how the Packers adjust their defense. See Longwell warming up for a punt on the sideline. Because what happened in the first half, they're playing outside position, and Detroit's taking advantage of a lot of slant and inside moves, inside routes. And that's smart. So when you're holding the outside, you're giving this up inside.
2nd and 5 on the Green Bay 49-yard line, and the reverse, Jermaine Crowell, and Crowell dives and slips short of the first down. He would have had it easy had he not slipped on the grass, but he's about a yard shy of the first down.
Sharper with the tackle.
Darren Sharper was able to come up and down him there, but the key to this play is right here. It's Santana Dotson, and because he flattens him out, see, he has to go this way, and he can't quite make that turn, and then Sharper can down him right there. Santana Dotson's not the same, too. He's basically playing with one arm. He's beat up.
3rd down and 1. 3 tight ends in the Lions offensive group, and the handoff to Cedric Urban, and he's not going to make it. He is knocked back. Keith McKenzie right in the middle of it, and that'll bring up 4th down, and they might have even lost a half a yard on it.
Hunt was right there. Lyon was right there. Ronnie Holiday was right there. Watch the interior. See, it doesn't go anywhere. You just get a push. The low man wins in that, and it turns into a scrum, and you can see who's lower. The Packers are lower. Good job right there by McKenzie, who did an outstanding job of dipping and coming through.
McKenzie starting in place of Vaughn Booker, who is out with a rib injury. On 4th down, John Jett with the kick, and a fair catch called for by Antoine Edwards. So that is a good situation for Jett and the Lions. The Packers will be inside their 10 when we come back.
They're struggling. Well, they got a couple spots. They're really, they need a big overhaul, and they need to be healthy.
Packers from the 7-yard line, and the pass out to Dorsey Levens. Claiborne grabs a hold of him, and he's dropped at the 9. Right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver with Mark Shimura.
All right, thanks a lot, Dick. Mark, let me ask you, you know Brett better than anybody. How do you think he looks and feels today?
I think he looks good. I mean, he had a couple balls where he threw it away with pressure. He's not forcing things, and I think he's playing a smart football game right now.
What about you? You're rehabbing from that disc injury. What are your future plans?
Well, I plan on returning next year. You know, I'm done this year. They put me on IR, so all I can do is rehab and you know, prepare myself for the mini camps in April, and I'll be back.
We know that how much he misses you, but what do you think about some of the receivers and, you know, whether or not they're not getting open?
Well, they're young. I mean, you got some young players in there. Corey Bradford, Bill Schrader. Tyrone's only been a tight end for a couple years now. And the big thing is we're getting better every week. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but as long as you see improvement, I think that's a good thing.
All right, take care of yourself. Look forward to seeing you next year. Let's go back up to Dick.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And, Matt, there has been a change in much of the cast of the Green Bay Packers in the last year or so.
Oh, there's no question about that. And they are young, but you've got to step up. You know, after 5 games, you're not young anymore. You're seasoned.
3rd down and 2, and the Porcher may have jumped, and here is the pass. It is incomplete, and another flag comes out as Freeman, the intended receiver, Mark Harrier, was trying to defend him. So there are 2 penalty markers down.
And Westbrook's right there also. That's a good hard count by Brett Favre on the front end, which should give him the 1st down, but then you also have on the other end an interference call, it looks like, on Bryant Westbrook, who is covering Antonio Freeman. But there's an odd sight. See, they allowed Brett Favre to be right in the middle of their conversations. Usually they clear everybody away. Here's Walt Coleman. Offsides and a hold.
And they will take the holding penalty.
What? Offsides on the defense. Number 91, that penalty's declined. Holding on the defense, number 32. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards, automatic 1st down.
Here's the count by Brett Favre.
That was nice, not only by Favre, that's also by Frank Winters to see it. And then there's the other side. Ooh, I like that call.
Packers get the 1st down, and the handoff to Dorsey Levens, and Levens maybe a yard on the play with Luther Ellis in there. We have 5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter. The Lions, who are trying to maintain a lead over the Minnesota Vikings. They're a half a game in front of the Vikings in the NFC Central. Minnesota idle today. Dorsey Levens with a career high as a receiver with 99 yards today, and he's also scored a touchdown on the run. 2nd and 9, play action for Favre, and his pass knocked away, nearly intercepted. Tyrone Davis was the target, but Alan Aldridge, who has scored 1 of the 3 defensive touchdowns for the Lions this year, nearly picked it up.
Yeah, Westbrook's hobbling off the field, but Favre had time to throw that thing, and he threw the ball behind him. They're going to just come with a four-man rush. It's nothing spectacular or anything. He's, you know, Kursky gets there at the end, but not before he can step and throw. And here's Westbrook, who, now there, okay, so they're made up for the last call because he was holding like a bandit there.
It was wait for me. Robert Bailey has replaced Westbrook at cornerback. Third and 9 for the Packers, and Schrader with the catch, and it appears that he has enough for the first down. And that was Rice and Fair defending right at the 30-yard line.
I don't know if he got the first down. Yeah, they gave it to him.
So a big third down pass by Brett Favre.
A nice job protecting the offensive line. This offensive line is not getting any push. They're getting beaten at the line of scrimmage in the run game, but in the pass game, they're holding their own. They're doing actually a pretty good job.
First down, and here is Favre. Wings it to Thomason, and the backup tight end has another first for the Packers up to the 42. Boyd defending.
You know, you're seeing a little bit of mustard from Brett Favre that you haven't seen consistently. I think there's no question that he's much better today than he's been in the last 5 weeks. That ball was going to be a completion no matter what, because he tried to throw through Thompson's chest. And then I think the other thing you have to remember, Ross Verba went out, and Mike Wall came in, and he's doing a pretty good job over there at left tackle.
3 wide receivers, first down. From the 42, and here is Levens trying to find some running room, and he is brought down by Travis Kursky for no gain on the play. Westbrook, you saw being worked on the sideline.
This is a nice job by Travis Kursky of staying with it. Now Mike Wall's going to stay with him, take away the inside and force him up the field. All that's positive. Now he wants him to be able to take the outside because he's expecting Dorsey Levens to be inside. So when Kursky throws him, he's actually going to get thrown on his rear end, but it's a good job by Kursky of maintaining outside control.
Second and 10, looking for the pass to Antonio Freeman, and it was off the noggin of Terry Fair.
And right on the noggin of Antonio Freeman, and Favre's going to scream because that's helmet to helmet. And a defenseless receiver, because it bounced off the back of his head, and Antonio Freeman, really, he had nothing to defend himself with. And you've heard Chris Collinsworth talk about this on our pregame show, and this is one when I believe it's right. Look, there's nothing there. He's already slowing down, and he got a shot to the kisser. Bang. That's got to leave a mark.
Donald Driver, the rookie from Alcorn State, who has a world of speed, is in the game and lined up to the top of your picture on 3rd and 10. And instead going to Corey Bradford. And a flag is down, and pass interference will be called against Terry Fair, and the Packers threatening inside the 15 now.
And he still should have caught the ball. And Favre threw that ball deep and put air under it so that Bradford could make the adjustment. He sees right away the matchup that he wants. So he looks back inside, but he doesn't want to give away too fast. Now he throws the ball up high, allow Bradford to run under it.
Interference on the defense, number 23.
Still, you got to make that catch. It shouldn't come down to having to be a flag. Fair stayed right with him. The ball's in the air, and it's the same thing that's plagued them all season long. And Fair did hit him before the ball got there, but you gotta make that catch. The National Football League, catch the ball.
42-yard penalty, so 2 pass interference calls against the Lions secondary. See if the Packers can capitalize.
Favre sees something, he's ogling in line of scrimmage.
From the 17-yard line, Favre drills it to the end zone. And it is unbelievable down, Corey Bradford.
The way the National Football League receivers should catch.
You were just saying that Corey Bradford, that you got to catch that pass in the NFL, and then he caught one that hardly anyone would catch in the NFL.
That nobody can catch. That is just a great effort, and this is excellent coverage, Dick. I mean, he's right on top of this. J.B. Brown, you can't cover it better than that, but you can't catch it better than Bradford does right here.
An amazing one-handed fingertip catch by Corey Bradford. And it is now 18-17, and now they're going to be a challenge. A review of this touchdown by Bobby Ross is upcoming now. And if I'm Bobby Ross, I challenge you too, just to see whether he had possession and stayed in the end zone.
It's the ruling on the field that it is a touchdown. Timeout.
So the Lions are charged with a timeout here in the second half. The Packers lead it 18-17 on a phenomenal catch by Corey Bradford, and now going for their second two-point conversion. And the pass, and it is caught for the two-point conversion by guess who? Corey Bradford, who can grab anything as long as it's in the end zone, it seems, Matt.
He is toned. Yeah, the first thing is the phenomenal catch by Corey Bradford. And then, of course, he has to get the 2 points. And Favre felt so good, he went right back to Bradford, and he responded.
And the Packers lead by 3. After the 41-yard pass interference penalty to Terry Fair, is back to return the kick. And for the Lions, the news is not good for Bryant Westbrook, who pulled the left hamstring. And remember, back in week 2, he pulled the right hamstring against these Packers at the Silverdome and was sidelined for 5 weeks.
That's tough for a young corner, because he was really, last year he was really playing well, and he just has not gotten on track this year.
Ryan Longwell with the kickoff, and Terry Fair, who has a history of long returns against the Packers, stymied once more, and this time Basil Mitchell with the special teams coverage, and the Packers much improved in that category this year. But Corey, this crowd revved up here at Lambeau, where the Packers have lost 2 in a row at home, unheard of, but leading for the first time today, 20-17. Lions begin from the 23-yard line. Gus Farrat to the air, and Crowell cannot hold on. Pass thrown behind him, bringing up 2nd and 10.
You tell me Brett Favre's not excited and back to his normal self. He sees the touchdown by Bradford, and it's just, you know, sometimes it makes you feel like a stooge, you know? Jumping all over the place. Now, you can't beat the Three Stooges music with that. When Favre is acting like Curly, you have to throw it on there. Of course, you know, Three Stooges had a film festival out there in Glendale, California this week, and my hat's off to those boys.
You should be there with them.
I wish I could.
2nd down and 10. Farrat under pressure, fires it underneath to David Sloan, and Sloan brings it out to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.
And we talked about taking away the inside. Now look where McKenzie's lined up. He's lined up now to the inside, and he's taking that quick slant inside away. So there's a little bit of an adjustment going on by Emmett Thomas, the defensive coordinator.
Cledius Hunt, who had a sprained ankle and was out for 6 weeks, come in for Bonnie Holiday, defensive end, on 3rd and 1. And here is the fake, and the pass incomplete to Walter Rasby, the 2nd-string tight end, and the Packers defend well and bring it up 4th down. And you're right, Darren Sharper.
Sharper lined up wide outside and then came back inside. And Hunt gave him the shot, and then he got away with one there because that should have been a flag. Walter Rasby was held by Darren Sharper. He was coming on a blitz and then right into Rasby and then stayed right there with him.
It looks like that catch by Bradford has ignited this entire Packer team, including the defense. Great kick by John Jett, sends Antoine Edwards back inside his 20-yard line, gets a couple of blocks, and then is flattened by Clint Krewall. 50-yard kick that time by Jett.
he gets to the top side, and then the ball hits him in the back, and that's the, you know, Mark Carrier. I think Mark Carrier's having a great year, but I won't be surprised if Mark Carrier gets himself another deduction out of his check for that one.
Antonio Freeman, a first down on the 35-yard line, and the handoff is to Dorsey Levens, and Levens getting up to the 39-yard line as we wind down to 6 minutes to go in the third.
Dick, you know, at halftime, Howie and Terry and Chris were talking about the play calling that the Green Bay Packers were getting here, and they were talking that it was much better. And Sherm Lewis has been on kind of a hot seat up here. There are little rumblings going on, but I like what I'm seeing here today. I think the biggest thing which makes Sherman Lewis call better plays is Brett Favre's thumb looks good. It's amazing how different that is.
2nd and 6. And here's Dorsey Levens diving short by about 3 yards. And, of course, all year long, Sherman Lewis had said, we're going to pass first and run second. And so they're kind of reversing it as far as the emphasis today. That was a 3-yard gain.
I think what you have to do is, you know, as a player, you have to read your keys. And then as a coach, you have to read them also. And when you look, and it was documented by the pregame show, the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers team is just not pushing anybody off the ball. And when you're not getting that, you're not going to run the ball very well, so you have to throw.
They have run at key times. There's a flag down, and free play may be coming up for the Packers. Corey Bradford has the pass knocked away by Terry Fair, but a flag down, and it will be against the Lions.
That's a good job by Frank Winters and Favre again. And there's one thing to give a hard count, and there's another thing for the center to see it and make sure he's offside.
Offsides on the defense, number 91, 5 yards, first down.
That's a costly penalty because it gives the Packers a first down.
It's a tough penalty. You know, Robert Porche's had a pretty quiet day, which means the offensive tackles of the Green Bay Packers been playing pretty well, and that's Earl Dotson over there and Mike Wall. I think Mike Wall with his tattoo there has been playing pretty well since he's come in.
Even mind Tracy Scroggins not playing because of a shoulder injury for the Lions. First down. Favre has a lot of time, and there's a flag as Terry Fair just dragged down Corey Bradford, and it was obvious to every fan here at Lambeau Field.
Well, he beat him, and actually that's not a bad penalty by Fair, because if he doesn't pull him down, it could be 6. So you give yourself another chance. Favre sees it. He knows where he has his speed.
Pass interference, defense number 23, first down.
See, that's actually a pretty smart play by Fair because he had been beaten. See, he bit right there, and he knew that there's no way he's catching Bradford, so he just pulled him down. Because if he doesn't do that, Dick, the referee's in the end zone with his hands in the air.
So a 41-yard pass interference call, and now this for over 20 yards, and the handoff to Dorsey Levens. Not much there. And he wanted it to be obvious to everyone because he had been beaten. And interesting that with Bryant Westbrook out of action and Robert Bailey in as his replacement with J.B. Brown as well, the man they're now working on is Terry Fair.
Well, Fair just got beat there on that out move, and you know he tried to pull it back and hopefully he'd get away with something, but they caught it.
Second down and 11. They take the handoff and the pass underneath to Levens. And finally, Stephen Boyd makes the tackle, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
You know, one player in this Detroit Lion defense who I like him. He doesn't run very well, but Stephen Boyd. And what he is intense, and he's a good reader, and that's something that a lot of guys aren't. Let's watch the eyes. He sees things, he takes his drop, but it's the concentration and then the break on the ball. Now, he gets by Bailey, but he's not going to get past Boyd. I think he's a good player. I think he's played well, very well, since he's come back from being injured.
3rd down and 11. They tried the hard count again, and the pass is knocked away and intended for Schrader. J.B. Brown was in the picture, and the Lions very nearly had a pick there.
That almost looked like Frank Winters almost got his quarterback on that time. They tried to get it. Watch the snap. I think he caught Favre off guard here. He went with the hard count, and he double pumped it, so he had to snap it. He thought he had Robert Porcher jump again. See, Favre didn't know it. No, Favre didn't know it, and then Frank Winters whiffed on the block as well.
So a field goal attempt for Ryan Longwell of 45 yards. He's 2 for 2 thus far today. And this kick by Longwell down the middle, and the kick is good. Ryan Longwell, remember, had his kick blocked to win it against the Bears a couple of weeks ago, but he has come back with 3 big ones today. And the 3-minute mark in this game is that Detroit has not been able to get any pressure on Brett Favre. And here is Brock Olivo, the up-back, returning for the Lions. And he finally brings it out to the 34-yard line. Well, for a good scare, check out Fox Tuesday night.
From having the lead are the Detroit Lions. The adjustments we showed you earlier of taking the inside away instead of holding the outside position, looks like they're doing the same thing again. And they have Crowell right up top. And he is holding the outside again.
First down on the 34, and Greg Hill with a carry, nothing doing there. No gain on the play.
Oh, Gilbert Brown, no gravedigger, made himself a play, and he's excited about it. Gilbert Brown is not playing where he did a few years ago. Gilbert Brown a couple years ago, he was a dominant player inside. He's not had a sack here in 25 games, and he's not a sack guy. His job is to patrol the inside, but he's having a tough time inside.
2nd and 10, Bonnie Holiday has gone in for Gilbert Brown on 2nd down, and here's pressure. The blitz picked up, and this pass knocked away, and a fine defensive play by Tyrone Williams on that pass intended for Jermaine Crowell. They picked up Butler, but it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Lions, who have been struggling offensively.
They did a good job of picking up that blitz by Leroy Butler on the outside, and that's where he's pretty good. He comes off the corner. If you can isolate him on a back, he's usually too good for it. And he takes care of Greg Hill, but Hill gives just enough to be able for Farrat to step and throw. Again, Tyrone Williams holding the outside kind of surprises me.
3rd down and 10. Cedric Urban and Brian Stabline in the game, and Farrat fires it down the middle, and it is intercepted by Fred Vinson. The 2nd interception of the game by the Packers.
Put that ball too much in the air, and Sharper did a nice job of getting on the coverage. Vinson was hanging back there just playing center field. The ball hung a little bit too much. Decent time to throw. He's able to see the whole field. They come with a blitz, but it's all picked up. A little bit of pressure at the end. Sharper's right on top of it. The ball was just overthrown, and Vincent is able to make the catch.
And a 21-yard return by Vincent, his 2nd interception of the season. And a Lion is shaken up. Looks like Tony Semple. So now Brett Favre brings the Packers in Lion territory. Green Bay leading by 6. And Favre wants more in a hurry. He's going for Driver, the rookie receiver, but well covered downfield. Terry Fair was with him step for step.
Now let's watch Luther Ellis inside. Remember I said they really haven't been getting much of a pass rush inside today. Raleigh McKenzie's working on him. Luther Ellis comes outside back to inside, but it's not enough. Raleigh McKenzie is an excellent pass protector. That's his real strength. He doesn't get a lot of push in the running game, and that's kind of a wash.
Played for Ray Rhodes in Philadelphia for a couple of years. 2nd and 10 at the 48. Here's Dorsey Levens. And Levens gets about 2, bringing up 3rd down. Robert Porcher, well, here's one time we mentioned his name, making the tackle.
Well, he's been playing when he's He's been playing in the pass rush. I mean, he's a good pass rusher. But it looks like Earl Dotson's done a pretty good job outside on him today.
Another Lion is shaken up. That's Alan Aldridge. The Lions have had a patchwork offensive line earlier in the year. Continues. 3rd down and 8. And Favre's pass caught by Schrader, and a first down inside the 35-yard line. So the Packers again convert on 3rd down and pick up 12 yards.
Just enough time for Favre to get rid of that ball because James Jones had himself a very good bull rush going on inside. Watch him right down in here. He's going to work over McKenzie, and he gets the push, and he has him up in the air just enough time. McKenzie gives him enough time to make that throw. They're playing very well today in the pass. I think this offensive line has done an outstanding job today protecting Favre.
Levin.
But not creating any running room for Dorsey Levin.
By the way, you mentioned Clint Freewald before from Wisconsin Stevens Point, and he has replaced Alan Aldridge at linebacker for Detroit. Now Aldridge coming back into the game, and Freewald exits.
Freewald had a nice hit on that special team.
He did. Second and 10 coming up. Aldridge moving from the weak to the strong side this year as Chris Claiborne, the rookie from USC, won the job. On the 34, 2nd and 10, and the pass caught. First down to Corey Bradford. Well, they're not dropping nearly as many as they did coming into this game. They're holding on to him now.
Well, and Brett Favre is Brett Favre. I mean, look at him. He's having fun again. He's smiling, and he's throwing the heat. And if you notice, he's not using his whole body like he's had to do. He's thrown with touch, he's thrown deep, he's thrown with heat, and he's having fun.
Dick Stockton, Matt Millen, Pam Oliver as the Packers lead by 6. They have a first down on the Lions 21. Hand off to Dorsey Levin. And even though they have passed more than they've run, the running has been effective today. Right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Dick, since Antonio Freeman took that hard hit in the 3rd quarter, he's been on the sideline very woozy. The word is he has a concussion. Packers say his return is questionable. Back to you.
It's easy to see why. That's a shot from Mark Carrier right to the face, and a defensive mark. You know, you're zeroing in, you want to make the hit, but I'm sure Gene Washington of the league may have something to say about that.
2nd down and 6. And again, the handoff to Levins, and Claiborne coming in to make the play.
That's a good play by Chris Claiborne. And he's a talented rookie, and he's going to continue to get better and better. But what he is, he's a big physical guy. He's just working there off the tight end of Thomason and just threw him to the side like he didn't exist. I watched him last year when he was at USC. I really liked what I saw. I think he has a chance to be special. He's learning right now, but if you look at his graph, it keeps on growing. He's getting better and better.
8th play of the drive upcoming. 3rd down and 9. 4 wide receivers. Davis is out as a wide receiver. The pass to him. He's got it. Tyrone Davis. And let's see where they spot the ball. He may be short. Lamar Campbell with what may have been a first down saving tackle. And it appears that the Packers are short. 4th down coming up.
That's a good catch by Tyrone Davis.
And they send the field goal team on. Ryan Longwell, who's red hot today with 3 field goals. And as you mentioned before, the 6-point lead could become 9, making it a 2-score game for the Lions if he can connect.
Then they put the big guys back inside. Wall is now inside instead of Verba.
31-yard attempt. And the kick is good. At the scoring drive, capped by Longwell's 4th field goal of the game. Terry Fair on the return. And the Packers have done a good job not allowing Fair to return a kick as he did earlier this year to the tune of 91 yards. Cowboys-Cardinals coming up next. These teams that you'd see beat these teams on the field last week.
Yeah, the Cowboys beat the Packers, and the Cardinals beat this Detroit Lion team. But Cardinals played pretty well last week. had a chance to watch that thing. The difference is going to be Michael Pittman, who had himself a big day running, will not play this week against that Dallas defense. And you also have another week of Leon Lett getting healthy again. See if he can round into form quickly.
First down at the 21. They keep it on the ground to Greg Hill. And Hill picks up good yardage on first down. Jude Waddy making the tackle. Well, in the second half, the Lions have come up empty. They've had 3 and out on 2 occasions, and then an interception the second time Gus Frerotte has been picked off today. Second down and 5.
No.
And here is Greg Hill with 2 flags down, and Hill stumbles on the grass and is shy of the first down, but this penalty will be an offsides call against the Packers.
Yeah, Bill Lyon, 98, jumped inside. Gilbert Brown will now be in.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards results in a first down.
So the Packers, who have not been penalized much today, give up one there, and the Lions with a first down, trailing by 9. Still plenty of time. We're early here in the fourth quarter, but the Lions need 2 scores.
And McKenzie's going to go in there late. Hunt runs out.
McKenzie's not yet lined up. Now he is. From the 31-yard line, play fake. Here comes pressure on Frerotte. Going up top, incomplete. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. Crowell was his intended receiver.
He had to get rid of it because Leroy Butler came clean. That's a good job by Emmett Thomas to be able to bring Leroy Butler. It's interesting with Leroy Butler. You're going to watch him come right off the top of your screen. He's coming right outside. When he gets into the game early, when you can get him going early, he plays better. Like he feels like he's a big part of it, and the whole game hinges on it. Some players are that way. Some players, if you don't get them involved in the game real early, they struggle all game long.
Second and 10, Brian Stabline to the bottom of your picture, the 3rd wide receiver.
You never take a defensive timeout.
Well,
the hands of your sideline and inevitably your offense at the end of the game.
Following the timeout, Lions with a 2nd and 10. On their 31-yard line, Frerotte pass well complete, and Crowell was looking for a pass interference call, but none forthcoming.
Well done by Jude Waddy. Yeah, this is an excellent job of seeing your coverage and then coming back underneath and expecting it. He's going to come back inside. Jude Waddy is lined up inside. He's going to come out. Here he comes. See how he eyeballs him? Ooh, questionable call there, too. Wouldn't argue the flag on that one. Jude Waddy's very athletic, can run, Dick.
He's picked up the slack the last couple of weeks with Brian Williams out of there. 3rd down and 10. And here is Frerotte going up top for Morton. And the flag comes down, and Morton was held by Mike McKenzie. And the Lions will get new life and a first down in Green Bay territory.
Working outside again. He's head up on him. Oh, he's going to take the inside. He grabbed his left wrist. Now, there's nothing worse than beating yourself. You know, and that's what's happened on Ray Rhodes felt it there, and Bobby Ross felt it earlier with a couple of big pass interference calls on Terry Fair.
2 on Fair and 1 on Brian Westbrook, which resulted in an ultimate score. So tough day today. Mike McKenzie, the rookie, no surprise that they would look for the first-year player. First down, and the handoff to Cedric Irvin, and nothing there. Irvin with a 51-yard run in the first half, the longest by a Lion other than Barry Sanders. You have to go back to 1986. Gary James ran 60 yards against the Steelers, so a distinguished game for rookie Cedric Irvin.
You know the name out of the pass from Detroit that people have completely forgotten, who was really a great great player. I mean, a Hall of Fame kind of player was Billy Sims. And he's kind of been forgotten. I think Billy Sims is just a phenomenal player.
And he wore number 20.
Yes, he was a great one.
Second and 7, and with 3 wide receivers, the handoff to Irvin, but the Packers close up the middle, and Vonnie Holliday with the pressure will bring up 3rd down and long, a loss of 2.
You know, this just underscores that inside of both these offensive lines, the interior 3, they don't get much push. Watch, see how the line of scrimmage just stays there? Doesn't move. Nobody gets any push off the ball. And it's tough to run the football when you're not getting it now. It's not only in Detroit. Green Bay has the same problem.
We have not had a quarterback sack today by either team.
Both offensive lines have protected well.
That's Stabline in motion, 3rd and 9.
Cletus Hunt was working over Jeff Hardings, and there's a flag right there.
Prior to the snap, false start, 64, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
That's Jeff Hardings called for the 5-yard penalty. Hardings played well this year at right guard.
You know, the one thing about players that I love to see a guy always in the game. Once the crowd in it, he keeps his head in the game. There's been some people talking about Favre about how he needs somebody on the sideline to stay with him.
He doesn't need anyone.
He's in the game. If he's in the game, he's in the game. That's what I think.
3rd down and 14 on the 49-yard line, and here's Gus Frerotte. He had time. Now scrambling. And the pass wobbles incomplete, setting up 4th down. It was Santana Dotson putting the pressure on.
And what it was, Dick, was it was a stunt between Santana Dotson and Vonnie Holliday. Santana comes outside. Holliday crushes the pocket inside and forces Frerotte to go to his left. Because of that, he throws the ball away.
So John Jett will kick. Here's Antoine Edwards. And the flag is down, and a fair catch inside the 10-yard line. So a penalty marker down. So hold the music a moment, and we'll find out what this is about.
Awazake was on the sideline, and he went out of bounds, and they put a thumping on him over there. Personal foul, the face mask. This will be a post-possession.
Right, against the Packers, and Awazake very pleased with that call upcoming. Led the Packers 17-12, but Detroit leading or trailing by 9 as the Packers come out. 1st down on the 5. Here is Dorsey Levens, and Levens is stopped back, a loss. Chris Claiborne once again making a big play.
You know, I have to go back to, again, we talked about non-running, but what they have been doing is protecting Brett Favre. And if you notice in the first half, the Packers were throwing a lot of underneath stuff. In the second half, they haven't been doing that as much. What they've been doing is they've been pushing the ball down the field. And all that is just part of the design Sherman Lewis has, because you can start getting that underneath coverage starting to bite. You can take advantage of throws down the field.
2nd down and 13. Levens is going in motion to the left. And pass by Favre, caught by Bradford. They're holding on to him today on the Green Bay side of things. They'll be short of the 1st down by a little less than 5 yards, but the 3rd down coming up.
See, now that ball is thrown the only place it can be thrown. You're going to take a chance by throwing down inside. So if Bradford can't catch it, nobody catches it.
Carrier shaken up. He shook up Antonio Freeman earlier. At free safety, the Packers with a 3rd down and 4. This is an important defensive down for the Lions if they want to get back in. Levens in motion to the left, and this pass underneath to Bradford, flag down. Corey Bradford finally pushed out of bounds by Brown and would have a 1st down pending the flag. That was an 11-yard gain, but we'll see. And
going to go against the Green Bay Packers. Offensive pass interference.
On the offense, number 81, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, third down.
That's Tyrone Davis, the tight end, and a costly foul against the Packers. They would have had a first down, and with a 9-point lead would have been critical here.
You're going to watch Tyrone Davis, number 81. What he's looking to do right here is pick, and that's what they called. And it's a good call by the official. He's just trying to bump off that corner to give Bradford some running room.
3rd and 10 after the penalty. Favre in his end zone, and he drills it for Schrader. Schrader makes the reception, and a big first down for the Packers out to the 40.
And look at Brett Favre. Now, we talked about Brett Favre being in the game, but the emotion of today's game is it's all over Favre. He's had emotion all day long. You can see, get everybody on their side. He gets them on the sideline. He wants them all pumped up. When he's out in the field, he's in control, and he's starting to feel really good about himself and his thumb, because he's the one guy who never doubted he could do it.
Packer fans are seeing the Brett Favre that they're used to seeing as Dorsey Levens gets a 1-yard gain. That was a 34-yard play, and Favre, he is pumped up today, and the Packers trying to end their 3-game losing streak, and now 7 minutes remain here in the 4th quarter.
You know what I love about Brett Favre? He's a goof. I mean, he's a goofy.
And you love goof.
Absolutely, because he has fun. He has fun out there. He'll go deer hunting yesterday. The day before, he plays golf. He messes around with his kids at home. He can talk to him about anything from Uncle Rube all the way through to you name it. He has a blast. I love playing against those guys and watching those guys compete.
Mark Carrier back into the game, and will have a false start penalty against Green Bay.
Prior to the snap, false start, 63, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Raleigh McKenzie with a 5-yard penalty.
Raleigh McKenzie is a twin. His brother, Reggie McKenzie, is director of pro personnel here with the Green Bay Packers. He's out scouting today, but I played against him and played with him. Very, very bright guys, both those guys. One was number 1 in his class, one was number 2. They'll never tell me which was which.
And why should they? 2nd and 14. Here's Favre's pass. It's caught. Bradford again. Corey Bradford still on his feet, dives to the 35-yard line, and the Green Bay Packers, and it's been Brett Favre, as Matt has mentioned, and Corey Bradford, and that is a gain of 30 yards.
And he gets up hobbling a little bit. Maybe that's why he took the hook slide, because that's the one thing I didn't like. He did everything perfectly. Was able to get open. Favre had time, well protected, step and throw. Everything's perfect. And then watch the end of this play. This is what I don't get. And it could be, you know, he's hobbling a little bit. He goes down. You don't slide down there.
6 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown, and Bradford is replaced by Donald Driver.
I got you.
Inside handoff to the fullback, William Henderson, for a yard. And the ball now at the 34-yard line, and there is Bradford, who's having a big day today. And remember, his drop against the Dallas Cowboys was critical, because that game, the complexion of that game against Dallas might have changed.
It's funny, Corey Bradford hurt Deion Sanders and then healed him all in one play. He ran by him, and he had a hamstring pull, and then he dropped the ball, and it was just a hamstring, just a little slight twinge, yeah. So he hurt him and healed him all in one play.
Bradford back in the game. And there's the fake handoff, and Brett Favre with a rollout, and he is going to be walked out of bounds by Robert Bailey, and Bailey and Favre jawing at each other. That was a loss of 1 yard after all was said and done.
Remember a couple years ago, and Brett Favre took off and was running away from Warren Sapp, and then they got up and yacked around at each other, and he always maintaining a smile on his face. This is the same kind of thing. He comes right back. Look at Bailey jumped in his face, and Favre does, and they'll talk and laugh, but they'll end up with a smile on their face. Look at Boyd jumps in at the end, and they have to laugh at it.
That was the first sack by either team. That's what it goes as, a quarterback sack. There's that hard count again. 3rd and 11. No flags are down, and the pass out on the flat to Henderson. And Henderson gets to the 30-yard line where Robert Bailey makes the stop. So the Green Bay Packers, who were down 17-12 at the half and leading 26-17, winding down to 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Brett Favre has come alive. It's been vintage Favre today. Gus Frerotte with 2 interceptions. Dorsey Levens with a career mark of receptions has 146 total yards and a TD. And Antonio Freeman out with injury, and a big 4th down coming up for the Packers. They need 4. Dorsey Levens in motion, and there is the fade. Flag down, and this pass incomplete. Schrader was the intended receiver. The Lions have been hit with several pass interference calls all day, and they're going to be stuck with another one. And that'll be an automatic 1st down for the Packers.
Favre's feeling good about himself. He's going to get called for taunting, I believe, Brett Favre.
J.B. Brown.
Because he went down there and gave him that thing, that cutthroat thing. And I think he's going to get flagged for taunting.
Meanwhile, Freeman will go to the locker room. He's been out with a concussion. Here's Walt Coleman.
Pass interference. 31 of the defense. We have spot foul. Then we have unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4 of the offense. Yep. We'll penalize that after the play. 15 yards, so we'll have 1st and 25.
That's a good call by the officials. Because Bill Schrader is working outside on J.B. Brown. And that's kind of average if you ask me. I don't like that one. But Favre runs down, and he's having fun, but he ran right into the defensive huddle, and they called that on him.
Here at Lambeau Field, 3:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Packers lead the Lions 26-17, and they have dominated the second half after trailing by 5 at halftime. And Brett Favre just called for an unsportsmanlike conduct call after a pass interference ruling against the Lions. It'll be 1st and 25 for the Packers on the Lions' 28-yard line. The Lions needing 2 scores right now to come back in this game.
Favre has regained his confidence and his thumb here in this game, and he's playing like the old Brett Favre.
And the handoff to Dorsey Levens, who has had a big game today, particularly as a receiver. No gain on the play with 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Packers looking to get even on the year at 5-5 and end their 3-game losing streak. And the Lions looking to stay ahead of the Vikings in the NFC Central. If they lose, the Lions would be dead even with Minnesota having their bye week this week. 2nd and 25 coming up for the Packers. Favre has had great protection all day, going into the end zone, incomplete, and it was Bradford covered by Terry Fair, who earlier called for 2 pass interference calls. Here's the way this game has gone. Cedric Irvin, the rookie from Michigan State, put the Lions up 7-0. In the second quarter, Jermaine Crowell, it's a 14-6 game. Dorsey Levens scores to bring the Packers to within 2, and then one of the great catches of the year by Corey Bradford. They made the 2-point conversion as well, and this was the 2-point conversion. 4 field goals by Ryan Longwell tacked onto that, and the Packers lead of 26-17.
You don't go for the 25 yards here. You go to give your field goal kicker a better chance to make it here.
And the screen pass, and Henderson one-hands it, but it'll go incomplete, bringing up 4th down. So 2:44 on the clock. And no decision has been made yet as Brett Favre with his 24th 300-yard game.
That would be like a 46-yard field goal. And that really, I wouldn't chance it here. There's no reason to. First, then again, I'm not Ray Rhodes. Here's the ball thrown on the screen.
Touched everything, including the ground.
Now they're going to punt it. Longwell is in, but because Aguiar is hurt, Longwell will punt it.
Aguiar suffering an injury to the groin, so Ryan Longwell, who at the University of California, with a very impressive punting career there.
Cal Berserkley.
And a flag is down, and a delay of the game penalty with 2:44 to go. And just trying to keep it in the field of play. The Lions will let it go, and it is down by Thomason just outside the 10-yard line. The mark
Plays those Giants. He tries to move around and not give them the same look every play. So he makes them adjust to him.
Lions have only 2 timeouts left. They challenged a ruling, and it was denied. Starting from the 14-yard line, Gus Farrat's pass. It's caught for the first down to Jermaine Crowell. And we've seen Farrat come back when they needed it this year.
Minnesota, St. Louis. And they're down. There's only 2 scores. You have 2 minutes left. Time is the factor here, but he can get the job done.
Here is Crowell, and Crowell picking up about 7 yards on that play, and winding down to the 2-minute warning. But trying to close it out here, defending the Lions. 2nd down and 4 for Detroit. Still with 2 timeouts remaining. Underneath it goes to Johnny Morton. He breaks the tackle. Morton trying to get out of bounds, and he cannot. The clock continues to run.
See, the clock is more important than that extra 3 yards right there. He should have headed right to the sideline and stopped the clock. I mean, certainly there's still enough time. You have yourself 2 timeouts, but you got to gain every, because you have to have, look, you're down here to $1.35. You've got to be able to get 2 scores here, not 1.
Here is Farrat with time, and the pass incomplete. And it was David Sloan, the tight end downfield. And of course, you talked about Farrat on the comeback. How about 4th and 26? A 57-yard pass 2 weeks ago against the Rams. Jermaine Crowell, and then the winning touchdown pass to Johnny Morton as the Lions won 31-27. But they're faced with losing their 2nd in a row and moving into a tie with the Vikes for first place in the division.
But it ain't over yet. This is not over yet. They have enough time to be able to score and then get an onside kick and come back again.
In this league, everyone does at any time. 2nd and 10. Here's Sloan. Bulls his way for the first down to the 40-yard line, and a timeout called by the Lions. That'll leave them with 1. With 1:19 on the clock, Lions on the Packer 40-yard line. At this point, still unbeaten in the division. Detroit, 1 timeout left. First down at the 40-yard line. And the pass is caught. Should be another first down to Crowell. And out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:12 remaining.
Defensively, you're going to let them make the catch because they do have 2 scores. But what you have to be able to do, as you look at the smirk of Favre, is to keep them in bounds. Here you have an opportunity, Tyrone Williams, to tackle him. And then the rookie, Antoine Edwards, is going to make the hit, but he tackles him out of bounds. That's poor awareness.
Ball at the 30, first down. They're putting pressure on Farrat. He gets hit as he lets go of it in the corner of the end zone, intended for Crowell, but well covered there by Mike McKenzie. So the clock now, 6 seconds tick off, and it'll be 2nd down.
Pretty good pressure that time. And again, the same stunt that we saw earlier that Vonnie Holliday got pressure on. This time it's going to come with Bill Lyon and McKenzie. He comes up inside. Usually you do that when you zone block. If the offensive line is going to zone block, you attack the gray area in the crossover and then come back underneath.
2nd down and 10. And Cedric Urban slipped but managed to hold on to the ball. But the clock stopping with 1 minute remaining, and the Lions have used their last timeout.
Candles down there, we couldn't blow them all out.
He had a big take, didn't he? Third down and 6. Farrat dumps it off to Cedric Irvin, and Irvin may have the first down, but that is important. But more important, under a minute remaining, and Farrat is going to spike it and stop it with 46 seconds.
See, now right there.
2nd and 10. 19 yards away from the end zone. And here is Farrat trying to buy some time, and he'll run and go out of bounds now with 38 seconds on the clock.
It was good coverage that time. No place for him to be able to throw. So Farrat goes down, and at first he's going to look underneath, but he wanted something more than that. Then the coverage of Edwards jumped on top of him. Then you had David Sloan working the backside. He couldn't get open because of Leroy Butler. The last option he had was going to be Jermaine Crowell. But McKenzie was jumped right on top of that. Because of that, you just pull it down. You know you have to stop the clock. So you get as much yardage as you can and then step out of bounds.
3rd down and 3 for the Lions. And Farrat drills it in the pass to Sloan, caught at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, you'll give him that. That's a 10 to 15-second play. You'll take that.
But the time is working against them. And now Farrat stopped it with 24 seconds to go. So
did you see Santana Dotson get back? He jumped over the guard to get in.
High hurdler.
Ability to get back and get set, and they're not going to let him in. So if you can't go through him, you just go over the top of him.
Ball is at the 6-yard line, and the Lions needing 2 scores. They want to get the obviously the touchdown here with 24 seconds to go. This is the 14th play of the drive. Farrat fires.
Good coverage.
Yep, they had nowhere to go, so he purposely fired it way over the head. And now 19 seconds to go. 3rd and goal coming up.
And he was looking out to his left at Johnny Morton first. Morton's lined up wide to the left. He has that cushion. He's trying to get inside, but Sharper is holding there, and he can't get there. And then what he did, he had to come back, and he looked the field over. Crowell's been big for him all game long. Nothing there. Cedric Irvin, you saw, nothing there. So now he has to scan. He sees there's nothing anywhere. So you just throw it away.
3rd down and goal at the 6-yard line, but time is the enemy of the Detroit Lions here. Taking them a while to get some score. Here's the pass, and it's incomplete. Johnny Morton, the intended receiver. So now it is 4th down. And 14 seconds remain. The score here, and they look to the sideline. They're going for the touchdown now, and then hoping to get the onside kick with precious little time remaining. They've been out of timeout. Here's Farrat, and it's incomplete, and the Packers will take over on downs, and the Green Bay Packers in what has been a rousing comeback game for Brett Favre, who looking like his old self. The Packers are 9 seconds away from ending their 3-game losing streak and getting back to the 500 mark.
Dick, let me just say this to all those teams or fans of teams who are out there. Brett Favre's thumb is healthy, and it's going to get another week healthier. And if that's the case, then these Green Bay Packers are a team you better keep your eyes on, because they will score with that arm of Favre.
No question about it, Matt. And the Packers with a healthy and rejuvenated Favre, and Jeff George getting it done in Minnesota. And so the complexion of this division crystallizing now as we move into week number 12. And that will do it. The Lions, losing their 2nd in a row after a 4-game winning streak, will drop to 6-4. And move into a tie with the idle Minnesota Vikings for first place in the NFC.
And Dick, don't forget, they have themselves a short week, and they're playing this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day.